this hero can take over the game. And that's like that low cost initiation that you get onto Madara. Granted, there are a lot of saves still, but you've got a Night Stalker on top of your Shadow Demon taking away that disruption possible. You're gonna have a bad time.
This game, for me, super hinges on the supports and the Sand King, Finem. Like, I think they actually have to get quite a few kills in the early game just to sort of hold back the tide, because I don't see the Wraith King and the OD really getting all that involved. And so Sand King is going to be... He has to be the one that the supports can rally behind after, like, the 10-minute mark and start getting stuff done. I think Geek Fam's like lineup is just maybe a little bit easier to play in the first 25 or so minutes. Like, they can just... The Night Stalker, even if he doesn't get a whole lot of farm, has a lot more impact with just levels compared to the Sand King. So I think they're a little bit less dependent on how their lanes play out, and they naturally are going to be the aggressors.
And one of the best ways that I've seen Night Stalker punished is by taking the lineups that like pressure super early on, try and make things happen around the map, take down towers. I don't really see that from the Ad Finem lineup.
No.
There isn't really that hero that pushes the temple. Wraith King can kind of do it, but they've got pretty good wave clear from Geek as far as like being able to sort of defend against the skeletons pressure on. But time will tell. We will see game number 1 here of the second series, as apparently they've got some team issues. We've got to upgrade. You have to pay for a TeamSpeak server?
I think so. Are people still using TeamSpeak? That's the thing. I know a lot of LANs, they don't even rely on like a networked software solution, right? They just have like a mixer, and then all the... I guess maybe it's probably easier just to have it as software. Have everyone's headsets like plugged into the computers.
Well, and the other thing is that at Summit they have, like, each of the players has their own SSD that they bring around too.
Yeah.
So they can just keep that.
What in the blazes?
Yeah, that's true.
I did such a good job with
You
these relays.
have learned nothing.
Alright, sorry.
Let yourself get carried
No,
away.
it's good to pat yourself on the back, kid. Good job.
Alright. Arrow, a little bit of
I'll
scouting.
help my weak and puny allies where I
Dara,
can.
already talking a little bit of mess. See it.
Oh.
This ward dropped down. Does that block? No, he cut the tree. Cool.
Yeah, he tangoed, and so he can plant it. That's extremely unlikely to be de-warded. So I think worth the cost. Though I guess if you came up here, so this is one of these wards that you can only use for a little while. Like, eventually the enemy team will, teams that you're playing against will kind of catch on. But then I think then the next level mind game is to come here and tango the tree, but don't plant the ward and put it somewhere else. So somebody comes up and they're like, oh, I see the tangoed tree.
Uh-oh. They got him. Oh, did they get him though? Did they? Trying to get the body blocks in. Oh, the illusion's taking another round. He eats the tree through and does have the stun, but Madara did not want to dive for it. He's gonna solve up, and apparently he's fine now.
70% miss chance. Good stuff. Very good stuff.
You remember when we saw this in the opening of like the Southeast Asian qualifiers? We saw these coddles taking blinding at level, and we're like, what are they doing? And now it's like what everybody does.
Yeah, it's just standard now.
Arrow? Connects again. They got their man, but guess what? Got a defensive support here. Cuckoo, stunned. They'll trade in hits. Can they kill him off in time? Maybe next time. Has another arrow in 6 seconds, but Cuckoo's just gonna walk it off. I think he's gonna come over and maybe pull the creep wave, or just try and live. He's gotta get out of this.
Ad Finem really gotta get this bottom lane under control. Madara's denying pretty hard just to make sure. Ooh, arrow just lands out of nowhere.
Run.
Maybe next time finds it.
What a guy. That was
Very nice.
my bad.
It was totally random. Cuckoo was still just sort of hanging around. MNT is keeping an eye on him. They land this one. What are they looking for?
I guess just some more harassment. That's really weird. Spartan now is very low on everything. It does have a salve of clarity at least, but maybe next time take a couple tower shots as he passes by.
He's doing like 3 or 4 tower shots for almost no reason there, it felt like.
Yeah, you know. Things happen. I don't know what's going on.
It's fine. He's got bottle.
Fix that up. Farm out. Oh, as you see, he's doing it on his side of the map though. All those other games are farming on the opponent's side of the map with the arrows.
Yeah. Yeah, this time around he's just he did stack it, so it's gonna be farmed for somebody later on.
Oh no, in the regen rune.
Regeneration.
Roya gets it. Okay. Thug is not gonna.
It's like, alright, time for me to buy another salve, boys.
Denied.
Bit of a tough one here. 12 and 3 versus 5 and 3. Roya is really giving him the business. Although Thug does get that range creep deny there. On the positive side, Skylark is getting some decent levels up to level 3 on the Sand King. The wave pushing in towards him. And of course we've got Adara Wraith King, who's the big beneficiary of all of this in terms of his last hitting. Still a bit
this ward is so nice for this specific like matchup setup as well. Oh, but he gets caught anyway.
Okay.
Is he dead?
Maybe with a light strike array afterward. Again, takes an arrow shot. No, he's fine.
Okay. All right. Not a big deal. But the ward scouted. He knew that maybe next time was.
Is yours. The laughter is on.
This is nice for Finem getting some kills in the early game. The Sand King still only has like 9 CS though, so Skylark is kind of struggling. He's getting bashed into oblivion up here. Is he dead?
Walks up. Still in the century. Burrow strike. 0 on to 2. Be okay now.
Tried for a burst strike into arrow, but didn't quite have the timing, so will not be able to get Dubu. I'm a little bit worried about this Sand King's game. We'll see. Should be okay. There's that stack for him to go clear and whatnot later on. And he is against the double melee lane. Should just continue to get better. He's even gone for a point in the caustic.
I feel like we've been seeing more and more of that. Realizing the skill still has a ton of value. Flash farming later. Ooh, burning a lot here on the top lane. Have a salve afterwards. We get close to that 5-minute mark. Up top lane, some trouble. Skylark, time dilation. Does have a burrow strike available as they jump forward. Can't quite find the bash. Gabby will probably head back with it.
Is under attack.
Trying to run for that early veil. Yeah, definitely Faceless Boy, Mr. Raven having a very nice time so far. 30 and 10, leading the way in last hits right now. And still the big story also is going to be Roya just putting it into Thug.
Yeah, and then what the Lena's going to be able to do afterwards, rotating around. Similar to some of the other builds we've seen, Roya picking up a lot of small stat-heavy items. And it lands.
I get him. This is real nice. Dubu moving in. Can he get there in time to make a little bit of space? Looks like they turn it instead on the Thug, and now in trouble. Right clicks coming through. Roya gets the finish. Will end up dying to maybe next time, but that is well worth it. Getting the kill on the OD first. At the same time, Cuckoo goes down bottom. Not what you want to see out of your Night Stalker on first night.
Yeah, the Wraith King is also doing fantastically in his lane. Spartan's he's got 2 points up in the Shadow Post, and I feel like he's been doing quite a lot of damage at bottom, in fact. So early game, fairly even, I would say, across the board. Net worth very slightly in favor of Finem currently.
Not have Now, great clicks coming in from Dubu, seeing if he can build up the Shadow Poison stack. Spartan will get punched one more time by Dubu here. Salves up, able to get the walk away. And there's going to be the Fire Blast to break the salve. They did kill off the Sand King up in the top lane at that same time. And now the arrow comes in, able to find themselves this ogre, fully encapsulated with the other ogres, but still going to be able to make the escape. An Astral to save Spartan. One more punch, but the stick charges keep him alive. They stand on
Yeah, I think MNT gave him a bottle sip as well, as that auto attack was flying at him. Kept him alive. Alright, that was an interesting little skirmish. Yeah, top lane, I don't know what happened. It seemed like it was just a straight up. He didn't even chrono. I think he just time locked him to death.
He didn't even use dust.
Nope.
What the hell?
This sentry is still just sitting here.
Yeah.
Skylark really needs to deal with. He didn't even bring back a sentry or anything.
Trying to beeline it straight for that veil. Yeah, it's causing some issues for him, for sure. Right, level 7. Thug needs to be so careful here. If he gets caught by a stray light strike ray, that might be curtains. Top lane, center being used, not gonna find themselves a target. And Dubu moving in position. They find Skylark. Sentry Ward drop down. Can they take it out in time? They will, but the Chronosphere comes out, able to catch, able to bash his way to death. And now another Fire Blast around. Dubu punches it into him. Does Raven want to show up and win the fight? Maybe next time. It's like, won't for now.
And both offlaners have kind of been on struggle streak, but especially Cuckoo. Cuckoo's only level 4 currently.
Top tower is under attack.
Like you said earlier, this is not what you want to be seeing from your Night Stalker early on. They want Brioya at mid.
Oh, this could be a nice setup for them. They can get the kill. Arrow connects, and this time they will be able to secure the finish on the Lina. Do you have raindrops or anything?
Fire is quenched.
I was wondering, that would be pretty. It would be a pretty bad look if he survived that. But
Yeah.
there you go. So they lose Rioya, they lose Cuckoo at bottom. Man, we actually have a game on our hands compared to our previous series, where it was just one team making all the right rotations, completely stomping. I guess again, it's going to come back to this concept that Finem have about playing against the Void, right? Are the saves plus the Wraith King going to be the answer? Because they left it open the entire time. It definitely feels like they were sort of baiting Geek Fam into taking it. So one of these situations where we can determine is the hero so strong that it's like normal matchups or normal counters just don't even matter.
Right. Well, and the other thing to watch for here as well is that it's not just the Wraith King, the OD you need to be careful about. Like, Mirana has a bit of a game. She just picked up Arcane Boots now. Warstaff's going to be next for her. So maybe next time is going to be definitely an issue. And that also puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the Geek Fam supports. You've got Dubu and you've got the Coddle, both of them needing to pick up a ton of Sentry Wards to deal with that Moonlight Shadow. They're not going to be able to beat those damage dealers.
Yeah, and both of the Geek Fam supports kind of feeling like position 5s currently. He's definitely sitting on some gold, but definitely the Mirana who's doing the best out of all 4 supports. But Skylark on the rotation here. They're giving him the bottom lane.
Top ultimate tries to juke away from that Spartan, seeing if he can keep eyes on him. The Shadow Poison might be able to. Cuckoo actually sticks around, and he's going to get caught by this. Now, he does have a bracer, so shouldn't go down to that.
Yeah, he's fine.
Radiant's middle
But that is
tower
pretty
is under
expensive
attack.
using the Dark Ascension like that.
Disruption. Okay.
Thug imprisoned him as the Wraith King stun was midair, so just an awkward situation all around.
Bring in Spartan to try and power alive here. But Raven shows up now. Has Chronosphere available. Light Strike Rate a little bit off the mark. They don't decide to go for the full committal there, but they can still keep people in the area. Sentry Ward down, Madara, and they take him down in time. Time walk away. The big ultimate coming out from Coddle, catching onto all of them. They're saving this Chrono still, and it looks like that's going to be the extent of the aggression for now. Catapult is dead. You can try and stick around to finish off the tower, but it looks like they're just going to go back.
This is so interesting. Like, top lane's completely empty. Both carries make an appearance at mid. Like that. I don't know if Raven just thought that they could go in there and kind of secure the tower for free. It's probably partially just because the Chronosphere is back off cooldown and he was hoping to find some kind of an opportunity, but it's so weird to see top lane just empty for a minute and a half.
Yeah. Zephyr to try and hold off the tower for the moment as well. It's like, it's been enough space for Skylark to get his veil brought out ready now. Courier, Cuckoo's still miles away from his Aghanim Scepter, but does have a Bracer and Phase Boost.
Radiant's top tower is
12
under
minutes
attack.
and 1,000 gold lead. We haven't really seen that big team fight come out yet from the Chronosphere. I don't think we've only seen one Chronosphere so far, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the one that killed the Sand King after they killed the Sentry. They had to, just to get the vision. But yeah, the Night Stalker is a worry. Void's doing really well. Lena's about to pick up Yules in just a little bit, so we're probably going to look for some rotations and try and find some kills. It is, I mean, it's a little bit risky to go for ganks here. The other thing to keep in mind this game is that Yules is not a very good defensive tool for him, especially against the Shadow Demon. Like, the Demonic Purge is just always going to pull you out, so
They have to be
pretty much just an offensive item.
I mean, the other thing about that too, I guess, is that even if you do manage to find a light strike rate, you've got a disruption afterwards to save. TP in will not be able to catch an arrow. Or dropping the ulti there to Cuckoo and then walk away.
Well, they forced some rotations, but it is kind of a weird place for the two supports to be playing. They don't have any core nearby to connect with, and I think they need a little bit more damage to get some of these kills here.
It feels like that was the entire purpose of it, right? It was just pull people over that way to make for the dark, the farm. And also pressure this tower.
Man, they give Cuckoo that D-ward. Zephyr getting popped mid, he's dead.
Moves into position now. They've already got the Sandstorm out, but vision is there. Skylark gonna hit the deck while Roya shows up, wants to find the Shadow Demon on the backside. Spartan on the wrong side of the map, and he gets caught and killed. So Geek Fam find two. The cost of the coddle.
But Madara also making stuff happen at top. Skeleton Army gonna bring down this tier 1 tower. So not actually that bad of a trade. I think the Sand King, they traded position 5 for position 5. They lose the Sand King, but they gain a tier 1, so they've opened up the map quite a bit more. And Geek Fam have to be sweating a little bit, losing these tier 1s without finding any trades. They do have quite a lot of farm that they want on their lineup, especially with Nightstalker going for the tag.
This is really nice. They're setting up on Raven. They see him underneath the Sentry Ward. Do they have any follow-up now? Arrow, it's coming a little bit late, but it's going to be there in the end, and they find that kill. Cuckoo now also in trouble. Geek Fam want to show up to this fight, but they are going to get punished heavily. The bait for the bounties does it again. Dude, Ad Finem, these last couple of minutes here, right? You have this movement. Yep. Force out the rotation up top, and then you force the rotation mid while Madara gets farmed and takes the tower. It's beautiful.
They're definitely moving better on the map. And the other cool thing, I don't know if we really talked about, was the double observer wards over here on the Tricam. I think they plant that knowing that one of them is going to get de-warded, and it's going to make Geek Fam feel safe, and they're not going to look for the other one. But now they've got that trick to control.
Take down the trees, maybe next time. Deals on the Zephyr, light strike rate. They get the kill onto that Mirana. So they will not be able to find anything else there. But the jump around on the other side, the big old epicenter with the Burrow Strike. Does he go down? He will die in the end. Spartan tries to find this Ogre kill. He's going to take him down as well as Bug moves into position. The right click comes through. A big old Chronosphere, though, catches on to Ultimate, but there's not enough follow-up damage to take down all these heroes. So they get 2 kills, but it's on the 2 supports. Tim, not happy with that trade at all. And maybe they find themselves another. Raven's gone too far forward. He's going to get jumped on, but Thug, yeah, he can't follow that up. Cuckoo able to play intercept.
Yeah, but Finem are finally going to get this tower. Skylark is having such a good game at this point. Like, he's got... I said that so much of this comes down to the play from the supports and the Sand King. Sand King had a little bit of a rough start, but they gave him the safe lane. He took out that tier 1 tower, he grabbed some extra farm, and now he's just playing fantastically. Look at this.
And the easy setup happens over and over again. Maybe next time, Skylark, dynamic duo getting kills, and Geek Fam are really struggling to come up with any answer. Like, these last couple of minutes have been terrible for Geek Fam.
Yeah, and
they'll get the D ward now.
And that's Doctor just having zero game currently. He's not doing anything. He's less farmed than the enemy team's Mirana. A lot of this comes down to the laning strength of the Wraith King. And you have to think about the Shadow Demon as well. Right? Night Stalker is naturally quite tanky, but the Soul Catcher just destroys it.
Radiant's bottom tower.
And Demonic Purge is actually pretty annoying as well, just the constant slow when you're completely relying on your mobility.
And this
is actually
game
such a good
felt
Shadow Demon game.
Relatively, 4v5 so far, with Madara kind of doing whatever he wants. When he comes into this fight, the Radiants, they're still looking at a timing. If I'm Geek Fam right now, I'm very concerned about these next couple minutes. They need to make something happen. And this is looking like where they want to make the opening happen. Arrow connects onto Coddle. They can't fight now. Coddle's gone from the engagement.
And if they successfully wait out this Dark Ascension, I think they can just go. They've got numbers up here.
Maybe next time behind enemy lines, has an arrow available. They drop down. Coddle ulti. Skylark dual scepter, interrupt the epicenter. Arrow coming in from the back lines. Doesn't connect onto anybody. That's a big whip right there. Madara turning to try and fight now. They have Crippling Fear wearing off in just a moment. Maybe next time. They're finding the back line. Royoya gets destroyed, dismantled, and now Shadow Demon living through all this. They find the Chronosphere. It's going to land onto their hero, but it does look like they're going to be able to back out afterwards. A buyback from Lina. Do Finem want to stick around, or do they need to get out now? Have Crippling Fear, another round of it. Madara looks like he might go down here, but the follow-up is coming in just a second as do retreat. And it looks like that's going to be the end of it. Arrow, turn, fight, maybe? They thought about it.
So, Ryoya bought back, but his TP scroll was on cooldown, so he just didn't really do anything. The Spartan's given in the tip, and it's just now he's middle on the net worth, and yeah, he did really well in lane. He did what he was supposed to in that matchup, but Finem are just kind of finding him in the fights and not letting him pump out a lot of damage. And Geek Fam aren't really using their ultimates to full effectiveness. Like that Will-O-Wisp did nothing that fight.
They get a double G-ward here for their trouble, and in the meantime, Spartan does go down. So I think Finem, this feels like the Finem of the past, where they're very much like, all right, let's just keep going and fighting, run at them constantly. And I think that they went a little bit overboard up top. Probably once you bait out that Dark Ascension, you can just back. But now with this Radiance, it feels like it's kind of a new opening for them. As well, Arrow not on the mark, but Uber is still getting run down. Burrow Strike connects onto 2, and they catch him out again. Oh, that was glorious. Skylark, you are having such a good game.
That bounty rune was such a bait. Like, nobody could decide who was supposed to pick up the bounty, and then all 3 Geek Fam's heroes were like, okay, no, it's me who's gonna pick up the bounty. And then all of a sudden, Sand King. Oh, no. Alright, well... Yeah, this is starting to look like Finem's game at this point. The Wraith King's getting a ton of momentum, especially once he picks up, like, if he goes AC Blink, he can just jump on the Lina every single fight. Lina's not going to have much of a game after that point. This Night Stalker is still just basically doing nothing, it feels like. He's almost got his Ags.
Well, and this is, one of the issues that you see with Hero, right? like, I think that Ad Finem win late game if they're just unimpeded, and in a way it felt like Ad Finem needed to, or Geek Fam needed to like push that tempo that much quicker and be online like 10 minutes ago, but they also need their items, right? So very tough situation.
Radiant's top tower.
Yeah, I really thought, and I said it at the end of the draft, I thought that Geek Fam had these, like, they have a really straightforward game plan where they rally around their ultis, they rally around the Dark Ascension. They are kind of playing for these long cooldowns a little bit. But just...
I mean, it's only a coddle, but like, it just goes to show that having these wards down and just blow them up there. One step ahead, ready to go. And this is the area right now that Geek Fam gets to play in. They don't get to go anywhere else. But that might be enough here to take down the Shadow Demon at the very least.
Yeah, doing a good job at least of holding on to the Tri-Camp, but they're going to get completely out-farmed across the map just with the fact that they've only taken one tier 1 tower, they don't have any vision over in their own, in like the top side of the jungle. They've got this Night Stalker Ags now. Let's see how crazy it can be with the Chakra. Is that the turnaround point here?
I mean, that also, and then having the Will of the Wisp with it, right? Like, you have the combination of just keeping them forever stuck in a painful situation. Pretty nice. But the downside is that they've got 2 minutes where it's going to be hard to deal with after pushing the tempo.
Yeah, and the team fights still haven't come together in the way that Geek Fam want, right? Almost every chrono, the Lena's been dead already. So they're not getting that damage into the chronosphere. The chrono is often just to kill like a fairly low priority target, get rid of the Shadow Demon. It is a difficult game for the Void because, like we said, there's a lot of saves and things that he has to worry about, but that's where Geek Fam's execution just needs to be that little bit up. I think they really need to make sure that they're using the Will-O-Wisp and the chrono at the same time. They can't afford to be like staggering them or just using the Will-O-Wisp to start a fight.
Middle tower has fallen.
This is scary. Ooh, God, I don't know. Skylark isn't quite there with them here, but if he shows up at the end, it could be a really good fight. Nighttime in a minute and a half. Can beat them wearing out that long, or it's going to get caught. Skylark in the back line's able to find that burrow strike to connect on it too. Raven jumps in, wants to make something happen with the BKB out. Does he have enough here? Cuckoo getting pummeled. 4 down. Skylark will eventually die. They keep enough separation there between the two of them. Fedara gonna burn through that ulti one time. They gotta be careful here. I don't know if they can afford to go back in on this. Skylark is already gonna be controlled and killed off. They drop down the Will-O-Wisp, not enough. Ad Finem have pushed too far forward. Geek Fam looking to find another pick-off here. Scepter left up, another buyback coming from the Shadow Demon. They're going to TP to the tier 1 tower. Cuckoo wants to chase it down, but it's going to be the Dark Ascension. That's Aegis already down. This is a terrible fight so far for Ad Finem. And Skylark not able to hit onto anybody either with that epicenter. Round 2 coming in.
Radiant's bottom.
Again, you've got to be careful if you're Ad Finem. It is nighttime with the Ags. Silence comes out. They have a void afterward. Tons of damage out, but they drop the ulti, and that's enough to take down the Night Stalker. The turn that they needed came from Thug at the end. That Sanity's Eclipse and a 5,000 gold lead after it was looking a little bit scary.
I still think that's a pretty big win for Geek Fam, though. They got the Aegis, they forced 2 buybacks.
Yeah.
They got the kill on the right. See, that's much more like it, right? That's what I was talking about. They've got 2 people in the chrono, and then they've got the Will-O-Wisp behind it, controlling the other 2 heroes, and just preventing the OD from coming in and saving anybody. Really nicely played by Raven, resetting as his BKB was ending. Like, his BKB ended, he time walked away. He knew that his team had enough damage to get the first life on the Wraith King, and then he could come back in and continue the team fight. So, still signs of life from Geek Fam, and as we saw, the Night Stalker is actually starting to find some impact in these fights, which previously he was just a non-factor.
Yeah, I think that if he stays alive, like, he needs BKB. Yeah, he's immediately queued it up. Because if he can live through the OD shenanigans, this hero creates enough chaos that it's going to be a tough time for him. I guess likewise, though, if you've got BKBs of your own,
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's a game of cat and mouse as well.
Yeah, but he will be able to the Void and the Night Stalker. They both have BKBs. Will just sort of be able to walk at the OD and make his life really difficult.
Yeah. Wraith King is going to go back for the Abyssal Blade afterwards. I kind of like that blink suggestion that you had, but it feels like
Yeah, I still kind of want the blink. I know that they do already have initiation from Sand King, so he might just be thinking that okay, maybe that's not my job this game to also be an initiator. But I really like the idea of Madara just hunting for the Lina in every single fight. But he might not have that luxury. He might need to just be sitting on the front lines, and if he had a blink, it might be getting canceled a whole bunch.
yeah, that is a concern.
They're prowling. Oh, Ryoya. Just wait for it to come to the high ground. Don't go out.
He does have a Yule's. They got the arrow afterwards, though. Oh. Okay.
Radiant's
safe.
bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to go anywhere near this.
He's playing a build where it's just like, if I get caught, I'm dead. I don't. He hasn't taken the HP talent. He's just got mass cast range, so his positioning is supremely important.
So
And they
close.
need his damage too, so
Right.
he has to get his spells
Tower
off.
is under attack.
He has to be that one that's like staying in the back, not getting killed. And like you said, it speaks to the need to get Sand King on top of him in fights. Which Skylark's been able to do a good job of. I'm saying Gabby.
It's confusing.
Players do this. It's just
Radiant's top tower is under
Thug
attack.
showing on the map. Oh, Ryoya. They glyphed away if he knows. He's gotta know. No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Arrow! Oh, he goes down.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Patience
know
from
next
Ad
time.
Finem. Yeah. Now he'll know not to go out. He was probably just thinking that, like, oh, they must all be over on the other side of the map or something. Like, nobody had shown top in quite some time, but they were just waiting
with
out.
the
Radiant's
wave
top
though.
tower is
Oh,
under
Yeah,
attack.
at that point.
Dire's
Yeah,
bottom
yeah.
tower is under attack.
But I guess even
But at that point, there wasn't really
Radiant's
anything that he
top
could do,
tower is full.
right.
unfortunately.
Dire's bottom tower has
Oh, they got a blink on the Night
Dire's
Stalker.
middle tower
Alright,
is under
that's
attack.
nice. But Odie's gonna have BKB before too long.
Yeah, we gotta take advantage
Lina
of this
dead.
timing. Get on the OD, silent before BKB.
Radiant are scattered.
Oh no, they found Coddle again. They decide to go.
I almost feel like Zephyr tanked that intentionally. I think he was just like that, or maybe we wasn't paying attention, but not a big deal either way. Getting caught by that arrow. They did take quite a lot of health off of this tier 3 tower, though. That was a really nice pickup, a really nice pick off for them. And Madara changing his mind again. He's also going to be going for BKB.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's just so hard to play against Caudle without a BKB.
Hello. How you doing, buddy? Got the dust out there. Burrow strength, but time dilation. It hurts. It hurts. So
This is a lot of defensive items for Raven. If you look at what he's building. With BKB, and now he's got a
Are scanned.
queued up.
I guess to deal with the Shadow Demon turn here.
I think it's in part Shadow Demon. Part of it is he just doesn't want to get blink or struck by the thinking.
I guess Spartan knew that was coming. He's just like, alright, I'm gonna disrupt myself, make it a little harder. But yeah, the Raven situation definitely is a little bit more staying alive in these fights. I guess that like can't really be a frontliner right now with Night Stalker because he doesn't have that beat
No.
yet.
Yeah, and Night Stalker just in general, not as much of a frontline hero, and especially with this build, he's really waiting for someone else to provide
Dire's structures
the vision so that he can then go in. So I like the decision from that perspective. Raven appreciates that he's going to be the one hitting buildings, he's going to be the one in a vulnerable position where he might get jumped, and his team doesn't really have a whole lot of save. Like, they've got a Glimmer and a Force Staff on the Keeper of the Light, but that's about it. So I think this is okay. I was even thinking earlier, like how much damage does the Void actually need to do, so long as the Lina and the Night Stalker are surviving in the fights.
Yeah. I guess that's the thing too. He could throw the Lincoln Sphere onto Ryoya if he needs to. The last second.
Yeah. Something to look out for. Lina does have Aghanim Scepter now, so there's a lot of damage from Ryoya, and that's where the OD BKB is maybe not as safe as he would like. The BKB is not an I win necessarily for Thug. He's still gonna have to be careful with his position.
It's almost enough to one-shot the SD right now.
Roshan's going to be the next big objective. Both teams sort of settling into position in this area. Madara just protecting the high ground.
Really good vision here. Cuckoo, he can pop Dark Ascension if he needs to. They see everybody. Skylark just inside that vision there on the high ground. Waiting for their opening. They have the long time walk cast range too. Madara not wanting to commit fully for Roshan. Like, that ward again. Super valuable.
Yeah, and very difficult to deward situation. But the standoff begins. We got some skeletons that are going to push top. Looks like bottom lane is naturally pushing in favor of Geek Fam. There is always going to be the Boots of Travel X factor for Ryoya, so he can always go and deal with a lane if he needs to, and then be able to come back and join his team. But there's also that same factor over on Skylark's side. So a little bit of cat and mouse as Geek Fam smoke up.
It's dangerous. Super dangerous. Jump on high ground.
They
think that's a real OD. They're thinking about dropping on it. Nope, they don't realize it's the real one. It's an illusion, and they will find one kill. It's on the Wraith King. But round 2 coming in a second. Dubu trying to play interrupt there on a Skylark, so they can't find him. Madara pops the BKB. Going to retreat. They have the Chronosphere there. Connects onto 3. Holy moly, me oh my! The Light Striker Ring comes out. They get the double kill. Burrow Strike coming through onto 2. Raven still finding himself another opening here. With the BKB pop, they can't do anything to him. Skylark did nothing in that fight. And now with these buybacks coming fast and furious, all these heroes are dying. Your chronology. Oh, Geek Fam, the turnaround in that engagement. Oh.
Thug TP to the shrine? I think he did. I can see the idea. They're like, okay, we just got that first insane chrono from Raven, right? That was a sick play. And then I can totally understand where Finem are coming from. They're like, okay, they just used all their big spells. Let's all buy back and go. But they didn't all arrive back at the fight at the same time. And then they ended up losing a few more. And now they're not, like, they're down a couple of heroes. Losing the Sand King is the thing that hurts the most because they...
Look at the crap! Oh my god! Oh, no! Yeah, it's still updating as well. Yeah, no, it's gonna be further.
Oh, they're not, man, they're going to get actually nothing out of these buybacks.
Yeah.
The OD had 0 impact in that fight. He got chronoed, and then he got blown up by the Lina, and that was it. That was all she wrote.
Well, and the other thing too that was crazy about that, right, is that it not only was that he caught 3 of them, but he caught 3 of them close enough that Lina was able to hit like a 3-person Light Strike Ray and a 3-person Dragon Slate.
Yeah, I think she got a double stun after that, and it really should be. I want to be keeping more of an eye on the way that they're using this Chakra Magic, because I feel like we have seen some crazy like Lina stun into an immediate secondary chain stun.
Yeah,
it's super brutal.
One of the other things that Coddle brings to the table, you talk about him not really being that big of a damage dealer, but if you have these other heroes surrounding him that are based upon spell casting, that low cooldown, he becomes a damage dealer by virtue of his helping the other heroes.
Oh, Geek Fam looking for something that like Madara's gonna get. Geek, like Finem could lose the game in the next minute just because they have no buybacks.
Oh, instant bash, poor staff, run away. Don't want any of this. Geek Fam. This has been a good game so far.
Yeah, very back and forth. Raven, not Raven, Cuckoo super back into the game. They've got this gem picked up, really controlling space nicely. It's so topsy-turvy. It feels like Skylark kind of pulled Finem all the way through that mid-game. It's some really fantastic play. He was winning all the team fights for them, but now the BKBs are coming out. Geek fam don't have to be nearly as worried, and the Sand King's impact is tapering off a little bit as the Night Stalker just continues to get stronger and stronger, especially as these mounts come in.
Uh-oh. They got some people here. Night Stalker facing down one. They have anything to break it. Dubu, he's there. He stuns himself, but he gets the kill regardless. As Skylark is going to drop. They managed to get out with one other. But meanwhile, Raven just kills off the Marana.
All right, I'm just chrono your position for it. Why not? And he doesn't have buybacks, so this is a pretty big window for Geek fam. And Ryoya can just push out bottom. He's got Boots of Travel in a second, so the rest of the team just needs to head over pretty much all the lanes except for top, going to be in a good position. I think they can even threaten a little bit of high ground here, even without the Will-O-Wisp or the Chronosphere. They're still quite strong.
Definitely feels like it. And you can see already they're just going to move up there. And, well, pressuring now. Back out as soon as the buyback comes. Really, really good patience being shown here by Geek fam. And this is something that, like, again, you talk about the way that Southeast Asia has been described by a lot of other people in their playstyle. It's always just run at them. It's measured aggression here, not overextending. If anything, it's been Finem that have been the ones that in this series.
The SEA teams have gotten so much better.
Yeah.
Like I would say that the SEA scene has really matured a lot. There are a lot of still those like the hot-headed players, right? But there are some serious orgs and some very serious teams in the space now. So I think it's a little bit unfair to have this constant idea of like, oh yeah, the SEA team, it's run at you Dota, they're gonna tilt and they're super momentum based. That's not at all what we've seen this game, right? Geek fam have been behind, but they've stayed disciplined. They've tightened up the execution on their team fights. They waited for their important items, and they found that one big opportunity during the game just by kind of grinding it out.
Very impressive showing, and I think why a lot of people are expecting this team to be one of the contenders here at this tournament. So one of the things that I kind of wanted to touch back on that you mentioned early on as we wait for this high ground push, you mentioned that this is like Void's counters. A lot of Finem has basically picked almost all of them, and they are still losing to it in the late game. How concerning to you is that about the state of Void in the current meta?
I'm not even sure what it is about Void, right? Because I don't feel like he's gotten that many huge changes recently, right? I think part of it is just maybe the rest of the carry field sort of being nerfed down a little bit. The saving supports are really not that, not super popular. But yeah, it is really interesting that, and I called it out in the draft, right, that this is the concept here is, can we let them have Void and then pick all of our favorite Void counters and beat it? I do think that Raven had a much easier lane than I'm not about to say that than he was supposed to, because they did just leave the Sand King in the 2v1. So I do think that Finem very knowingly let this Void get a lot of farm, thinking that they had the counters, but I guess it just goes to show you that Void's power level at the moment is pretty high, and a lot of these players feeling confident enough to pick. Been playing a lot of Void. These teams some teams are even willing to pick it super early in the draft. He might be a touch overtuned. The other thing to keep in mind is that he's got like the Bloodlust this game, also helping him out.
I mean, that's one thing though, right? If you have like one hero that's a combo with the Void right now to help him out with Ogre and have like what 3-4 counters against the Void.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's nothing.
There have definitely been times in the past where people have just said Void is like a useless hero. He doesn't flash farm fast enough. People couldn't figure out like a useful enough item build, but it just seems as though we're seeing people get away with these Midases and Midas Maelstrom.
Dangerous. This is dangerous. They get the chrono onto the OD. Wraith King walks into it. Not great. Now the BKB comes out, but shit's gonna get destroyed. Madara wants to take down this Lina and will be able to do just that. But is it going to be enough? Now the stun broken there onto the Lincoln Spheres. Raven gets the jump away, and the OD buys back. Meanwhile, Geek just runs away. They're out of here. Another round of quick jump in, find the kill, lose the Lina, but get the buyback.
And that's discipline again, right? Just knowing that, okay, we've used our big spells, let's just reset. They used the buyback, they can't immediately get anything out of this buyback. Let's just go and chill out for a second, wait for our cooldowns one more time, and
Coddle's
go
level
again.
25. Ah!
Yep. XP gain talent at level 10. Nice stuff. 350 cast range talent. Very nice.
Oh, this is nice. Oh my god, they trapped down the city. He's a clip onto a break. The start to cool too. Buybacks come fast and furious. Already 3 of them out from him. Can they get out of here now? Add Finem. Want to take themselves another round. They kill off that OD. No buyback. 2 minutes on the sidelines. Madara still slowed down. Cuckoo tries to get the follow-up now. They have the Shadow Amulet. Spartan not going to be able to escape though as Raven kills him off Madara. The last one standing in the area of the cores for these years. But Skylark jumps in. No, he got his blink canceled and now he can't burrow straight because of the silence coming from Cuckoo. And now you see Madara in a hell of a lot of trouble. Needs to try and survive. This man is also going to die. Both cores dead. No buyback. Let's run it down mid.
Have you felt Sand King in these last couple of fights? Like, it just doesn't feel like the SK is really doing a whole lot at this point.
He really needs that BKB. Like, I think it got his link got canceled by a
Radiant's top tower is
Oh
under
man.
attack.
And I like the idea as well from Finem there to kind of go in and force it somewhat, but then Thug gets sort of caught in no man's land. This Lina Aghanim Scepter has proved to be such a problem for OG. He can't stand and fight. And Raven, he time walked into an arrow in the middle of all of that. It didn't matter in the slightest. He's got the Satanic as well. He's super tanky, but looking like it's gonna be multiple lanes.
Maybe next time. Throws out the arrow. Zephyr realizes, hey, there's somebody over here, guys. They will not be able to defend this set of racks. They take down the melee top, leaving the range alive as they press over to the other side. Now looking for a third. 20 seconds until OD as the arrow goes in, connects on a Coddle. No follow-up there. Maybe kill off the courier here.
Radiant's middle barracks
It goes down. A Pyrrhic victory if we've ever seen one. Skylark has his BKB finally out. The Sandstorm trying to keep these heroes under control. 5 seconds until OD is back. They buy back on this Mirana. We'll see if they start TPing out to the shrines or what have you. But looks like they're not going to be able to find anybody. Geek fam heading out. Burrow strike, just blink away! He gets out of there, they didn't find him! Raven BKBs wants to find a follow-up kill, is going to be able to maybe get one here, as the Chronosphere is still available, doesn't connect onto anybody at all, and now he jumped into that one, arrow is going to connect, he's caught for a while, but the Force Staff comes out, that's going to keep him alive, now the chase forward, looking for Dooku Thug in his BKB duration, the Invis is going to keep Dooku alive, and Raven jumps in, wants to find one, they find themselves the big old OD, Light Striker are going to connect onto him also. Some things were just not meant to be as Ad Finem getting dominated here. Everybody's going down dead, with the exception of possibly Zephyr as he runs away from maybe next time. They kill off the OD, and good game, well played all.
barracks are under attack.
Oh, Zephyr just force-stabbed Dubu into the arrow and killed him. I mean, oh, that's so perfect. Oh, what? Ad Finem at the end there, just crumbling a little bit. 2 different OD buybacks, neither one of which resulted in anything. I think that's also part of that's also part of the concept for.
Five seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Overall outcome too much, but he still buys Blink and he's still gonna Avitos combo you. They're just picking heroes that are game.
I mean, it could be played both ways, right? You could do.
Yeah.
I think that Cuckoo like hero though, so he's probably going to be the. But they might switch off. Do the shadow, the Soul Catcher oriented build to deal.
Sure, it's gonna help a little bit, but I think Geek Fam just want like they just want Bristleback because he can run in and absorb a bunch of spells and like pave the way for everybody else. He can just go and sit there and give vision for Batrider to find jumps and stuff. I have Omni Knight was my only concept to save at Finem's draft. I can't think of anything else because a lot of the other like I can lane against Batrider heroes are not good for their lineup.
Your heroes.
Here. Okay, so they just pick Viper.
I mean, it's good against
the Bristleback counter. Yeah.
I think
I don't think it's not great against Batrider or OD.
No, they're like, all right, who's going against OD? Who wants to do it?
Yeah,
that's literally the discussion I think that's happening right now. So they're gonna send Thug on Viper, and now you can see Madari's like, I don't want to play this hero.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
don't make me do it. Don't make me play Bloodseeker versus Batrider. They have no hero that wants to play against Batrider this game.
Well, game number 2, at least from the draft, where I think we're both sitting. Fam looks to be pretty heavy advantage.
This is Geek Fam all day, I think.
I will say I didn't feel like Ad Finem were outplayed last game. No, necessarily. There were a couple of moments where Ad Finem were actually outplaying Geek Fam with their movement across the map and pulling Geek Fam to certain areas and then taking advantage of that elsewhere. So I don't know. I'm curious how it's going to work. I would also say that last game I felt like Geek Fam had the draft advantage because they had Void. So I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah, they did create. You're right. They created some really nice opportunities. The way that they got Skylark back into the game by giving him the safe lane. The way that they contested that mid when Raven came to try and take the mid tier 1 tower for free, and they held on to it. And they put themselves in the situation where they'd taken 2 enemy tier 1s and hadn't lost a tier 1 of their own. All of that was exquisite. Early game, like early to mid gameplay and rotations and shot calling, but then later on, especially when it came to the big team fights and the buybacks and managing stuff around Roshan, that's where they were kind of let down. So we'll see if we can get a bit more of that early game Ad Finem here to get them off to a good start. Because boy howdy do they need it for this game. I think what they actually to do is they have to run like a full tri-lane into the Batrider, and they have to just like keep killing him. They have to like dumpster his lane and give the Bloodseeker a good start.
Right. Yeah, they can't afford I mean, I guess it's sort of a weird one in a way because like Bloodseeker, if he does get levels, like Madara could just retreat back to the jungle and try and farm while the rest of his team moves around the map. That could be the other way that they play it. So if at least Madara is able to get some amount of levels, or that could be really helpful. But he can't get completely tricked.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he will opt to like be prepared to ditch the lane. We might even see the max blood right build this game.
Yeah.
Like just you spam the lane a little bit to like hold on to your tower, and then once you get a few points and you're just running some clarities, you just head into the jungle and spam blood right to farm.
Well, the other thing is, it's not all about the lane either. Like, there's definitely some good tower taking with like Flash and Skylark's able to have a good game, and he was the one that carried him through their initial part of it last.
I just want Ed Finem to show me why Bloodseeker is a good hero this game. Like the same way that I wanted them to show me, like why. I really wanted to understand their concept about like why is OD a good pick in the previous game, and all I could really come up with is the arrow synergy. I think there is more than that, but I just didn't quite see it. And it's the same thing this game. I really want to understand why they picked the Bloodseeker the way that they did. Like, do they think it's good against the OD? I think sounds like a pretty good matchup, right? The silence is annoying. The rupture means you can't move around easily in fights.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see based on the way that he plays it. But the complete opposite approach from Ed Finem, as they're pressuring with an aggro tri-lane.
And they're going to go on the crystal back here. Nice split earth on top of him. Raven. Force out a salve from him early on. And while the rotation comes down to the other side, TP.
Huh? Shadow Demon TP'd bot. Is that what you're talking about?
Got it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Toss back. Silence there. Cuckoo, disruption. This could be good for him, actually. Get a good bit of damage on Mr. Cuckoo.
Is Spartan dead, though?
First blood.
Not before the first blood goes the other way.
I was also a Geek fan getting first blood top. He killed Skylark.
Well, you know.
MNT's just lurking mid. Oh, did they check the replay?
They must have.
Oh. Dubui, he knows.
Yeah.
He knows that they were gonna try and figure it out, and he just put it on the other side this time.
Pretty good. I like that.
Well, that's one step ahead. That's next level support gameplay.
But not quite.
This is how you know I'm a support player. I just get super excited about all the like the double ward with the one intending for one of them to get dewarded. Yeah, I love that stuff.
I mean, it's honestly makes such a huge difference though. It's like everybody pays attention to the kills, but it's the vision that like helps.
That decides so much of the game. Oh god, haste tiny. Oh lord, alright, they've scanned him. They know that he's here, but is it gonna matter?
Run away. I don't think they knew quite enough about that. Hey, Smooth Thug going for the courier snipe. One more punch. Oh, the Astral. Oh, that was almost enough. Wait, it takes one more pot shot. The poison attack.
Oh my god, that was so close. Jeez. He tried to be stone cold about that fairy fire, but...
Right. Meanwhile, Madara chasing forward for Cuckoo, has a lot of thirst stacks, but the juke away underneath the tower. Madara ends up going super low. Is he gonna go down? No, they still kill off the Cuckoo Bat Rider. But man, getting all that thirst up in the mid lane on the OD made the difference.
Wait, is Madara gonna die though? The tower's on him now.
Oh god, avalanche! Juke away, heals up, imprison.
Oh, salve disruption.
This is pretty nice. And now Zephyr is going to go down to the arrow. Cuckoo does not quite get hit there by the silence. He doesn't have Firefly for another 8 seconds, so he can't turn onto this. But Ad Finem coming out.
Spartan God, what a play there. That was so nice.
Did he salve him himself?
I think he salved him, yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was the Bloodseeker salve or the Shattered Defense.
I'd have to go back and check, but I think if it was the Bloodseekers, he would have like retreated further under the tower and just started salving them instead of running into the tiny. So
What do you think about this Viper build? Going for 202.
Oh.
It's a little different, right?
Yeah. I guess it's more just about trying to like orb walk and pressure lane. You can see the rear has taken a lot of damage,
Are
so
fortified.
to kind of be working with Zephyr. Oh, I can look for a toss. Rear is trying to give him the target.
Away. Punch. Leap away again. Back into the clutches of the Zephyr.
Welcome back.
Dire structures are fortified.
Oh, he cancels his animation.
There you go.
Nice.
I wish that like there was more animations for like if you're really, really hurting as a hero. Because in that way it's like Rana's just like,
and-
you know, pantsing along or whatever on the ground, and then suddenly one punch and she's like, oh, I'm dead. Just like
That's the end.
there's no change. Different, really. Turning on the Kuku here. Avalanche and Madara stick charges. That's enough to keep him alive. Barton. Disruption to save a life for a moment. Madara, 5 stick charges. They will eventually find 1 kill, but now maybe next time it shows up, it's a couple more punches off there. Trying to live through it. Kuku. Oh, Madara gets him. Bloodseeker's working.
Yeah, it definitely is. And maybe next time had to give up on grabbing the second bounty rune to come back and turn that around. He was on a trajectory to grab both, but instead Zephyr's gonna. Oh, he didn't buy his bottle first. Interesting. He had enough gold. I don't know why he didn't just get the free bottle refill. Because it's not super important. Oh,
Whoa.
toss back.
Midst of the leap. That's going to be his death. Time goes down. We're also seeing, like you talked about, a little bit of a different build there early on. It was no points in Blood Rage early for Madara. Going back for one of them. Taking 2 in Thirst. See if he continues to level up. Blood Rider can go back for the
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
TPOA canceled by Skylark. Realizing, you know what? Creep wave here. Can't really do much. And a toss back underneath the tower. Find themselves Mr. Thug. Arrow, not quite going to be on the mark. It looks like that is going to be OP finding a kill. Fairy Fire, never mind. Chase away. One more punch though, that gets the job done. And now toss it on to Baby next time, who guess what? Only has 1 leap charge and kind of whips it. Looks like this.
Madara's TPing in the mid.
What is happening? Arrow connects? Alright, they find the kill regardless. Madara's like, let's go, let's party. No mana, no problem. Zephyr toss up, wants to get it. Blood Rage onto the Tiny, and E2 will fall. And 13 kills in 7 minutes. So this is a fast one.
That is such an ad Finem move. The like Shadow Demon rotates over, Bloodseeker TP's mid, and they have all 4 of their living heroes in mid lane. I don't even know if that worked out that well for them, just given that the Bristleback found farm top. And,
Nice job. Arrow not quite there, but Raven
Returns from
also be hurting from that one. So 7.5 minutes in, the score tied up. You can see that it is Ad Finem who's kind of inhabiting a lot of the top slots in net worth.
yeah, they have to do this. They just have to keep buying like small items and just run at you. You can see it from what Madara's doing. He's buying a drum. Skylark is just tanking up, right? He's got a bracer and 2 crowns. Nobody can afford to be greedy on Ad Finem's side. They absolutely just have to buy a bunch of small items
Radiant's
and
bottom
just run at you.
tower is under attack.
So they're playing to their strengths for sure this game.
Zephyr. He does eventually get found out there.
Radiant's
Boo.
bottom tower is
Try and
under
get the
attack.
TP away.
Dire's middle tower
Does
is under
complete that one
attack.
there. Pressure on the mid being kept off by Dubu on this coddle. It does feel like it's, at least for the moment, Geek trying to just buy themselves a little bit of time
Radiant's
for the
bottom
next
tower
round
is
of
under attack.
ridiculous aggression moves out. Spartan's trying to get down the ward, not able to quite find the angle on that one now, and luckily to death.
Yeah, he's very dead.
Dire's top tower
So,
is falling.
I do feel as though the clock is ticking a bit for Ad Finem. It's going to get really difficult to push later on, especially once the Batrider finds some more items. Like, he's got his Fleet of Travel already, so he's constantly going to be out pressuring the map. They don't have a ton of great ways to catch him either, so he's going to be a big nuisance. Keeper of the Light's going to get plenty of points in Eliminate. What are they doing on this hill?
Oh, they get caught out by the Fleet of Travel bat. Now going to be tossed to death. Skylark managed to find the stun, but still goes down. It was an attempted erupt towards mid, but a little bit of just greedy movement, I guess you could say.
Yeah, they just didn't bring everybody at once and didn't respect Geek Fam's control over that area of the map. And they can't afford to make mistakes like that if they're going to win this one. Really has to be very crisp play.
10-minute mark, runes. Looks like it will end up being maybe 3 for 1 unless Madara can keep him off of this. Good. And decides to rupture Zephyr. To be kind of careful here. Oh, Cuckoo. Kiki's away, yeah, realizing that was not. Alright, so they still get to kill there on the night. Now they can make that move they wanted to earlier, pressure the tier 1 tower.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Alright, Tiny is kind of struggling. It's a nice place from Zephyr, but also just not the most consistent impact.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Really looking like he wants to fight. Cuckoo's also in here. They're not willing to give this up so easily. Raven just gonna go park himself in front of the tower. This is a full 5-on-5 shaping up mid.
Skylark, the one that's going to get tossed back in now. Still living for the moment. Bloodright doesn't connect onto anybody. They drop down the Will of the Wisp. Separation. You can't run through that if you're at Finem.
Skylark was trying to be cute. He was just sitting there trying to edict from the trees, but got found out. Very quickly dealt with.
The prize is mine.
In a constant sentry battle back and forth on this this hill. The observer for Ad Finem is actually just all the way over on the other side of the river.
That's for me.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But holding onto this mid-tier 1 tower is so important for a Geek Fam. You hear that every single Dota cast, just talking about how important the mid-tier 1 is, but it's just such a significant. It represents so much control on the map.
Yeah, and likewise, this is the lineup that needs to get in aggressive early, as you mentioned, for Ad Finem. I do kind of wonder late game if, like, I don't know that much about like Bloodseeker late game nowadays. Feels like it should be different than it used to be, because it gives you attack speed, which hypothetically should scale better with just like straight up damage oriented items. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I guess I appreciate the hypothetical, but I don't even know if Bloodseeker's going to get that farm. I look at his build; he's going drum BKB. Like, this man is never going to be 6 slotted. He can feel a little bit obscene once you get to that level 25 and you get the extra movement speed, but I'm still not convinced by this hero, or at least it's not a hero that I think we're going to be seeing a ton of. I wonder if he's one that even needs to be like. I think he might need the boring passive rework treatment that like Witchcraft and all those other things got. Like, maybe Thirst needs to be part of whatever. What was it?
No, I think that's what it was for
Radiant's middle tower.
Death Prophet.
I just I forgot that was even a spell.
Or whatever, yeah. Well, people like Lone Druid had Synergy, right? Yeah. It's this boring passive that like they removed a bunch of boring passives and changed them into interesting like active abilities, and then they rolled the passives in somewhere else.
Yeah, Death Pulse or the Sadist.
Yeah, Sadist is also one of those. So maybe that's what's going to end up happening with Bloodseeker. Who knows?
Radiant are scanning.
Okay, well, 9 to 10. Bristleback, after farming out that whole round of Ancients, pretty good. They find Zach. Going to try away, and there's everything happening. Madara.
But you can feel it that the momentum feels a bit dead for Ad Finem, right? Anywhere that they're like pressuring out the map or finding something, Raven's either shoving a lane on the other side, or Cuckoo's already in position to do something, and the net worth I think is just slow and steady going to start moving in Geek Fam's favor.
If Ad Finem can try and like keep the pressure on right now, though, I don't think it's by any means like foregone conclusion that's over. That's the thing. Is like I expected this laning phase to be way worse for the Bloodseeker. He's top net worth. Like Madara's had an amazing
That's true.
game.
Yeah, that's true. They dealt with the Batrider way better than I was expecting. I thought this Batrider was just going to be like a free lane win, free game for Geek Fam, but not the case.
He's saving up for the Blinker after going to the bot. He's away with the Lesh who wants to go and pick up these bounty runes.
Oh, Madara. Getting dragged back into the tower.
Coddle drops it down. Arrow going to try and be the interrupt, but it's not good enough. And Skylar not able to get the rune.
Dire's middle tower is under
Tied to the impurities.
Still 3 for Ad Finem, so they at least got something out of their carry dying. Though I'm not sure if the two are necessarily connected. Being able to get all those bounties. Yeah, I was just about to talk about that. It's that's part of the problem when you pick something like an offlane Leshrac, right? You mentioned it during the draft that they're lacking in catch, so they're trying to compensate for that with the Atos pickups. I don't know if there would have been any other item that I would have preferred. Like I don't even know if they should bother getting like a pipe or greaves or anything. I think they just need they need catch and they need BKBs, and that's what they're going for here. And that has to be their timing, just mass BKBs. Oh, Madara, they want him again.
They're gonna get him. Although no disruption coming from Spartan. That's a little bit scary now for Geek Fam. They gotta be super careful. Blood right laid down on top of them. They have the disruption already used, and now chasing down the Coddle. Can they get more? The arrow, it connected forever onto this Bristleback, and now he also is going to drop his Raven. It's pummeled down into the dirt, and now Spartan showing the strength of this hero.
Yeah, it was super good that they had the Shadow Demon TP first. That's exactly what they needed. A little bit, I guess, preemptive from Geek Fam to go for that without having the lasso off cooldown. It was still like 30 seconds to go on Cuckoo. But even with that, you know, the question is like, now what do Ad Finem get out of that? Do they find some kind of a follow-up? I still just feel as though this game is going a little bit too slowly for them. Maybe I have the wrong read and things will all of a sudden change once they pick up these BKBs. That has to be their timing. But that's also what Geek Fam are preparing to fight against.
Right. I think that you would love right now if you're Ad Finem clean up at least the last of these outer tier 1 towers and preferably get
Radiant are scanning.
tier 2 down. Train or something. Because it does start to look a little bit more scary. KBs are online now for Madara though, and we're still a ways away from Leshes and Vipers. One of the other sort of downsides of the Thug build was that he wasn't able to head to clear out stacks or the jungle as quickly on Thug, but it did mean that he could get more involved in the kills here, I guess.
Yeah, and he's still tied with the OD. It's not a particularly high farm game for anybody. Like, we haven't seen a ton of stacks and Bristleback farming ancients and stuff like that. We didn't even mention this game, the Coddle Bristle. It's not quite as strong as I think it was with the previous. Who knows? It's hard to say. It's like with the previous version, it was easier to execute because you didn't need to. Like, you didn't care about when you cast the chakra on him. He was always going to get the double quills. But with this, I guess he gets more goo, and it's easier for him to maintain max stacks with your help. So
yeah,
pros and cons. Definitely some strong synergy there.
quite get into range there. Again, Cuckoo going for this drums bots build, going back for a hood afterwards instead of opting for the dagger. Does make it a little bit tougher to find those targets. Shadow's gonna wear off.
I'm trying to decide if I like Ryoya's builds here. Like, he's not going for a BKB. He's just, I don't know if I like the full Pike, I guess is my concern. Like, do I like Pike more than I would like a Blink into a Hex or like a BKB? I'm just not sure. I don't know what this Pike is gonna do for him. I guess it gets him out of some AoE and stuff. Probably mostly about the Atos, but does he need the Pike for that? Could just have force down.
And Bristleback just gonna get dropped. Thugs hopping out his BKB there, and they make quick work of him. He was not well positioned. He's gonna get punished for it. So Spartan ends up going down. That could have been way better for Ad Finem had they just been able to back away with their Shadow Demon. Looking for another kill, didn't work out. They won't get that pressure on the Tier 2 tower. So again, a good win for them getting the Bristleback kill, taking down Raven. But what can they get afterwards? Offense.
And that was a 10-second BKB as well. So, E2. Just yeah, they really need to use the resource that the BKB presents to get quite a lot. They're not too bad at high grounding. Like I said earlier, the Blood Rage on the Leshrac is pretty scary, so they don't have to win too many fights to take a lane of racks this game, but the BKB usage is really gonna be what decides it. And okay, so now Ryoya's finished his full Pike, and now he's going back for the BKB.
I mean, is that the type of thing, not having it online right now, that makes you worried about where this next couple of minutes are going to go? I mean, it's a lot of gold to try and farm up on the OD to get to that item in time.
I don't know if the BKB like guarantees that he can fight, and I kind of feel the same way about the Pike. Yeah.
Just goes down, find themselves kill onto that coddle. And just like that, they're pressuring again. Ad Finem, 21 minutes in, they're hitting a power spike and they know it.
Okay, so they have to be careful of like lassos and tossbacks here. Tiny's TPing in.
They don't have Blink though for the Batrider.
Yeah, no Blink for the Batriders. It's pretty much all on Zephyr to find some kind of a tossback. Stop this, but they're taking so much damage on this tower.
It's alright, well, Tossback's looking for it. Zephyr, double Atos, he's in trouble now. Stunned, broken, punched, pummeled, and dead. They might need a buyback here from him. Ad Finem, recognizing their timings with these BKBs, they force out the buyback, take down that Tier 3 tower, and now can retreat if they so desire. Can't really go on to Thug here. They've still got the defense afterwards. They lay down the break on a Bristleback. Another round, 4-stack, keeping him alive. They're going to try and take down this Batrider as Cuckoo is eventually going to fall. Looks like very low, and they missed uphill twice there. But Madara able to clean up work onto that Bristleback in the end while using his BKB. But they don't have that much mana left on this Lash. There's no follow-up afterwards. Arrow going to connect there on OD. That should be enough to either secure their retreat or maybe go for more if they wanted. But it looks like they're just going to back out now. But big win there for Ad Finem.
Yeah, taking the shrines are free now. They can just Leshrac can go and clean them up whenever he wants. They still they haven't even purchased the BKB on the Lesh just yet. So he's still going to have a 10-second up his sleeve, and it's still 9 and 8 on the Bloodseeker and the Viper respectively. And I'm watching OD in these fights, and he's just kind of floating around. He doesn't really, for all of his net worth, it just doesn't really feel like he can do all that much. He can't commit in, has to play very safe. I think Ryoya is just waiting. He's hoping that somebody else on his team can force the BKBs, and then after he waits out the BKBs, then he can go in and do some work. But there isn't really anybody to do that is the problem.
Right.
I don't think there's any other hero that they're really going to pop BKBs 4. Maybe the Will-O-Wisp, but that's about it. Oh,
Zephyr here. He wants some.
yeah, but
This is a bait.
And like Ryoya is connecting, but also they have like no vision. So
Yeah. Oh, maybe next time he's gonna spot Zephyr here with his arrow. This is an awkward moment. I mean, yeah, he's gonna try and get out of there now, realizing that that could have ended badly.
okay, they have BKB on Bristle. They decided that this is their timing. They're running into them, but
Walk right into
they're holding the high
start. Skylark gets into all of them. The catch, it's already there. Jubu's gone at the beginning of that one. They pull back in one though. Already dead Shadow Demon, so now no save. Raven, BKB, wearing somewhat low, and Dars is as well as Zephyr going to be able to find that avalanche toss combination. Atos onto the OD. He's not quite get caught, but the stun is there, and they find the bristle back. And even though he had that BKB, still goes down. Geek fam lose 2 at the cost of a Shadow Demon. That was the smoke BKB reel. That was everything.
yeah, that was.
The prize is
It
mine.
almost looked like the OD was finally going to find an opportunity to do something, and then he just got pushed away by the Bloodrite and whatnot. So
A tie.
still, Finem building up a little bit of a lead. Man, Geek fam were really hoping that BKB for the Bristle was going to do more, but he just immediately got ruptured, and that was the end of his fight. I'm so surprised at how farmed this Bloodseeker is, I have to say. I guess that's just the power of Bloodrite
Yeah.
these days, I suppose. He really has a really good farming tool.
Took the health talent too, so I mean, obviously you get that
Yeah.
much later than the time we're doing farming matters. Dubu trying to keep him off the tower here. Arrow just barely off the mark, while simultaneously they're getting a little bit of pre-cut
Dire's
Cuckoo.
structures are fortified.
And with that
Dire's
fortification,
bottom
it's not going to be
tower
enough to take down this catapult. We need to go in and take this one out some other way. Get the keyboard, the Mad Finem.
Dire's bottom tower has
Tier 1
fallen.
tower goes down.
Radiant's
Two
top
with the
tower
wraparound.
is under attack.
Trying to play within their vision, but it looks like Finem do not want to take this. Oh, they're still sticking around. This is deadly. Spartan, I think, is just dead.
They have BOTs on the Viper. He can get back here if they want to take the fight, but I think it's just this is just a sacrificial Spartan move.
Raven sticks around for one more full spray and back. Are they going on this? They lose the Shadow Demon and decide, all right, we'll just kill off the Coddle regardless. They don't have anybody else in this area, but feeling like it's okay to take the fight. But Lasso is still up.
Neither team has their mid here. Rhea is now kind of coming over, but he's also telling them that his BKB is on the courier and that he doesn't want to fight until he has it. So they're kind of resetting, and Finem don't really want to fight because Viper actually had both of his
Radiant's
the
middle
BOTs
tower
and the
is under
TP scroll
attack.
both on cooldown, so he couldn't get there.
Two-legged abomination.
Interesting. Look at this Cuckoo build. Look at the next item that he has.
Very interesting. I mean, it's a good Blade Mail game, that's for sure.
Yeah, but he doesn't have. He's not that tanky. He didn't. He took the flame break duration as well.
Yeah.
Passed over the 300 HP. So.
I mean,
It is certainly a good deterrent, and there is a lot of uncontrollable AoE from Finem. Does he go like an HP item next? Is he going to tank up more, or?
yeah, I'm not sure.
Sure. Yeah. Because he's just hoping that he gets ruptured once and just like tries to
What
run
even
down the
is that
Bloodseeker.
other HP item?
I'm not sure. Yeah. So I don't think he buys a Crimson Guard or anything here. He's just queuing up a Yule's next. The Blade Mail feels really out of place in his build for me. Like, why not just buy Lincoln's or a Lotus or something and just keep throwing it on you? They are significantly more expensive, but why not just get something that you can like keep throwing on your Bristleback or something like that? Or if you really want answers to Rupture.
That's the real tiny, but it is not. Drop everything onto it.
Oh, they found Coddle. 5 seconds on Will-O-Wisp.
They're really doing a great job on Finem. This is
Dire's
and this is the
top
thing, right?
tower
Like
is
we
under
talked about
attack.
last game, how it felt like it wasn't an outplay necessarily. I don't think. There were moments where Ad Finem were actually outplaying them, but it was... I mean, I don't want to put it all on Void, but some of it was definitely on Void.
Yeah, yeah, and it's this game. Raven just doesn't have the Viper is giving him a really hard time, right? He's not a bristle boss. He's really relying on his teammates stepping up and kind of being the real carries of this game. Ad Finem forcing the Roche, but Cuckoo's here.
They realize it. They're looking. I don't know if Mirana quite caught sight of Cuckoo right there to the side. Roche getting down super low. He's going to walk in. Blade Mill already out. Can he get the Aegis? He's able to snatch it away. Cuckoo making the play. Raven's caught there, but he has the BKB for afterwards. So he's going to be able to turn afterwards and make this fight happen. Dara, TP out. Everybody's just deciding to run. And, well, Raven realizes, hey, we can actually fight. His Thug is out of here. Raven chasing forward, trying to find that kill, and we'll be able to get at least one. TP away, but the lasso comes in the clutch, and they kill off Skylark. Big win for Geek Fam.
Oh, not enough respect for the Batrider around the pit.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Cuckoo, this guy.
Yeah, he's a jolly Dota player, that's for sure. Yeah, that went so badly for Ad Finem, and I don't think Ryoya was even there. I don't even know if he could have got there, but just Ad Finem. I think they're sick of getting dragged around the map. Like they're really sick of the Batrider shoving waves, the OD shoving waves. They just wanted to force a fight by going into the Roshan pit, but that did not work out the way that they were hoping. And once OD gets this Hex, I think the game changes significantly, because at that point, Ad Finem's BKBs are not nearly so valuable. You're gonna have to pop them way more proactively, and we're already starting to get down into lower charges as well. 7 on the Viper and the Bloodseeker. Who still has Aegis.
World.
There you go. That's the HP item, Gabe. Now he has 2 health bars. Blade Mail value achieved.
I like it. Beautiful. Exactly what he was.
We weren't theory crafting hard enough.
I can't believe Mirana didn't just like walk over and check. I mean, obviously from a bird's eye view, you can tell.
Yeah.
What should have been done, but that one hurt.
Yeah, Cuckoo just like walked into the pit. Like, hey, what's up, guys? I'll take this Aegis right here. Thanks.
No blink now. Bottom lane, Cuckoo. Oh, they want some retribution here. Get on back over here, mister. Chase forward, Bug looking for an Atos. Already down. And the arrow boots. Now, can they kill him a second time? Pretty sure the answer is yes.
Yeah. Blade Mail.
Have a little humility. A wise word for anybody.
I like it that people have had to step up their hero chat wheel game with the removal of like all the battle pass chat wheel.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Well, and also Dota Plus has been around long enough now that people are starting to get their rank up on the number of. Yeah,
everybody's got a decent number of levels, even on heroes that they don't necessarily play a ton of.
This is exactly what you were talking about earlier as well, the problem of Ad Finem beginning to fall off. Granted, it was looking a little bit rough there, but now Geek Fam, after that Aegis steal, after the BKBs have started to come online, the fights have not looked as tragic for him, and Geek Fam's next set of items is going to be that much more terrifying to fight into.
Yeah, I think OD might finally be entering the game. 33 minutes and 4 items later, I think Ryoya is online.
Guys, don't worry, we got this.
Yeah, he's in it to win it.
It's pretty fast, too.
Yeah, he's got the Solar Crest helping him out. He's the real carry of this game. Raven's sort of the utility. Go and soak up all the spells. Hopefully he's the one that... Like, they're hoping that he's the one that cops the Rupture and stuff as well, and then Ryoya can just go ham. So they have handed the game to Ryoya, and it's up to him to win it for them. Doing Scotty next? Alright.
For who?
For OD.
It's kind of cool now, I think, the value against, like the range cores is so much better than he
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But Viper is like not really that much about his right click. Catch in the midst of the leap. 2 more of them.
Oh,
Why not?
that's all the mobility. He wanted to save the gem.
If you
Nice
Green light
by
after?
MNT.
Forget about it.
Have they seen the... Okay, they've seen the hex.
take us.
Akuku also has a gem. Oh, they're a little bit split on the Geek Fam side.
The ward taken down. 1-6. Chase forward arrow. Not quite connect there, but they know that they're chasing. Zephyr looking for the opening. Dust already out. BKB charge going to be used. Dubu trying to get away. He does manage to get the Will of the Wisp down. That catches onto once. The big cuddle ulti already used in this instance. Leshrac trying to live through, and he will eventually get torn apart. So too will Spartan, and Thug just tries to TP away. Can they break the TP in time? No. Maybe next time. Also going to drop or go down.
All right, Odie's online. He's here, Gabe. He's arrived.
Oh, Jesus.
And yeah, Madara didn't press the... Well, could not press the BKB button, so he didn't get to do anything. Look, if you just click on it, all of his spells, everything's off cooldown. He just walked up, he was blood rage, and then got hexed, hit twice, and just sanities into submission.
And that's the thing, right? Is like
Radiant's top tower is under
BKBs are great
attack.
and all, but if you got a hex on your team, I don't know how
Yeah.
you deal with it at this stage.
Yeah, they just stalled until the hex, and that was...
Maybe like maybe an Assange Yasha satanic type of build or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, just like super tanky.
Well, the status resist too.
Yeah, yeah. You're still gonna get hammered though, is the is the thing.
Fair. It's a very, very strong. That talent and then the natural intake that you get, or the spell amp that you get from... Oh, he doesn't even have Kaya Yasha.
Invisibility.
Sorry, you wanted to do one?
Scanning.
I realize he's in the area.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Dubu. Arrow, they're searching. Where'd he go? Oh, 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 they got spell life still there. And they get him. Think possible. Maybe. Dubu. Yeah, he's dead.
I had to look through the combat log. The Sanity's Eclipse did 2006 damage to Secret.
Yeah, it's problematic.
Yeah, that's rough.
Well, 23-20.
Radiant's top
Game
tower
number
is
2
under attack.
looking 7,000 gold lead for Geek Fam right now. And even when you find that pick off on Kado, it doesn't really translate into anything else right now for Finem.
I'm trying to think what what else do they have? The Nether Toxin silences talent is nice, but OD still has a 9-second BKB, so got enough. I think he's got enough BKB strength to like win them another 2 or 3 fights, and that should be all that they need to close out this game.
Probably the best bet would be like trying to bait stuff out, have Shadow Demon there as like the defensive
Yeah.
option.
Yeah, they have to disrupt the hex pretty much to win the fight. I think they don't have any other defensive tools, right? They haven't bought. They do have a Force Staff and a Lotus on the Mirana, so if MNT is in a good position, then they can maybe counterplay it that way.
Realize that ward is in the area, can't get the D ward in time as Dubu took out all of their vision. Yeah, and you know, the other thing that I've been noticing about like this way that Geek Fam's been playing, you think about last game, right? They had that Night Stalker. Big vision advantage. This game, you've got the Bat Rider. Very similar thing, where it's like you just gain a vision advantage, so you're always taking the fights that you want.
Yeah, they've got another advantage as well because I think they took away the gem, right?
Yeah.
I think they have Adfinim's gem, and there's one in the fountain as well. Couldn't go for smoke, but immediately gets broken by Kufu, who's over here with an Octarine core. There's your HP item.
Oh, they found one. Okay. Opening comes out though. The disruption, able to save the Mirana for the moment. Now the rupture. BKB reaction from Madara before the hammer drop, but they're able to get the disruption to save him for the moment. Tries to take him down. They're not going to be able to kill him all the time. Madara still ruptured, turned upon, tries to get him. The bash comes out. Royer's still bringing down Madara. He's too freaking strong. Oh my god, this man is a monster. Royoya doing all the damage in the world, but not quite enough to get him out in the end as the Viper Strike connects, but already he's done his job. Healed off that Bloodseeker. Double buyback coming from the Shadow Demon as well as from that Mirana. Now the Blade Mail out. Arrow doesn't really have that much left in the tank as Thug wants to chase down another arrow. Dodged away. Good splitter, 1 and 2, but they can't get up to high ground in time to bring down Cuckoo. Just backs away again and being this big bulwark in front of all of them as the Bristleback dodges another arrow. Skylark tries to walk back in. Cuckoo still pushing back Skylark further with that Blade Mail working. Disruption trying to save their life. Avalanche toss comes in though, and Zephyr puts the kibosh onto that. So a big, another team fight win coming out for Raven. Raven dropping oh so low and will eventually die. That is a big pickup for them. They needed something.
And not enough respect for the Viper, especially with this, with the Aghanim Scepter.
The prize is mine.
Damn.
Okay, so that was... So they bought back on the 2 supports. That's not a huge loss. Just kind of a weird team fight, to be honest. You called it out, really good BKB usage from the Bloodseeker, got up in the face of the OD. Still died. OD's still really strong. But they have worn down his BKB just that little bit more, and Viper is now 25. So I think that they do kind of have an out in that sense. I wouldn't say that this is all Geek fan. Just yet. And they're heading into the Roshan pit as well.
I think if he can get like his damage up from Madara, his right click could be a big way to turn it too. Another round of Blade Mail's out. Cuckoo, and they're trying to just make that space to get in there, sneak away Roche. But already Geek fam trying to put themselves in position now. Play interrupt.
Everyone on Geek Fam is just tanking up. This Octarine on the Bat, the OD with the Scotty, now thinking about an Octarine of his own.
Cuckoo, alright, been over. Vanish, Chase, Atos down, 4 staff away, these 4 staffs making a difference now. Geek fam, can they move
thinking
in?
about it.
They have Sanity's Eclipse again. They jump forward. No, they don't. Zephyr goes on to 1, but I'm not sure if that's a good enough target. Spartan is gonna walk the hell away. He's gonna give up his life, but that secures the Aegis and the cheese. Now
These
we're
4 staff plays from Geek Fam, they're chasing on it. Just smoke up. They want it.
Spartan doesn't have buyback. No save now, but they walk into him. Oh god, this is gonna come out in a second. It blows up maybe next time. But the BKBs come up from the others. It's enough to keep him alive. Skylark chasing, trying to find an opening. Raven, his BKB doing a lot of work, but there's gonna be the cheese used. Thug, drop down low. Is it gonna be enough though? He has that silence onto the OD. 4 staff away again. Blood right, not quite going to connect. There's another round of it. Can it be enough? It's not enough damage. And Madara, the only one left alive. Big win for Geek fam.
Radiant's middle tower
I guess it wasn't necessarily that brave, but I think they told themselves, like, the fight that happened over near the bottom room, that just went weird. Like, that fight just played out in a really strange way. I think they knew that they're just stronger. The OD does so much damage at this point.
Yeah, it's Sanity destroyed them. And
Radiant's middle tower.
I mean, again, you're pressuring forward for this tier 3 tower. And there's not much they can do to get past Raven.
Radiant's middle tower.
It's been able to just stay in front of all of them. Toss back on the Skylark. Disruption. Try and save a life. They have the Demonic Purge onto Cuckoo. Immediately takes off that Homer Gate. And Atos tosses it back again. That keeps him fine and dandy. Thug wants to chase, gets the silence there onto Zephyr, but another 4 staff. Saving his life. Thug wants to chase. He has another round of the silence here in a second, but he's going to get pulled back in. Skylark still chasing. Can they get out of there? The Hex comes through, and OD doing the work, but able to get bashed. Madara trying to stand toe-to-toe with them, but his BKB is about to wear off as well. And OD doing a ton of damage. Can they bring it down in time? The Zephyr jump through, finding themselves 1 kill, and the Astro is going to save his life. Madara doesn't have anywhere left to go. He is going to drop poor dead about to be 5, and this one is going to go into the tank. Geek fam take them all down and win the series 2-0.
Yeah, that's they got the turnaround in the end there. It was a tough one. Finem made them work for it. But to me, the highlights of this game have to be Geek Fam's defensive play, like the 4-staff play especially, and then just the way that they would bait buybacks and then always reset. I can't think of a single buyback from Finem in this entire series where it felt like, oh yeah, that was like a great buyback, super valuable, definitely the right decision.